Hey, this is Bernard Kaufman. I thought that I would give a sort of sped up video walkthrough of how I made dm-octs, which is a sort of evolution of my previous mat, dm-hex, gameplay built around a hexagon. This time I decided to upgrade it to 8 sides instead of 6, and I tried a new process this week where instead of drawing something out on a map beforehand, I just thought I would make whatever map I could just conjure entirely out of my head and just not work from paper for once, just to see what it would be like. And I had a lot of trouble actually setting up the scale in the beginning, like just getting the proportions right. Probably because I didn't have any sort of scale on paper to refer to, which definitely caused me to start slower in this map than others. Paper is definitely a good resource I will continue to use in the future. But I still learned a little bit of improvisational skills while I was making this map. After a little bit, I just decided, hey, since this map is going to be based around octagons, rather than start trying to block them out entirely from subtractive brushes shaped like squares, I would just build the entire thing using like octagonal brushes, just a cylinder brush set to have 8 sides. And this allowed me to just expand the sizes of those brushes and type in the numbers. Actually, I have the exact dimensions for later now if I just click on these octagonal brushes for like the next iteration of the map, which I definitely plan on doing, like, if not now, then within the next 2 hours. And what I'm really what I'm really seeing here is that I just created a brush and rotated it at 45-degree angles to fill it out. So you can see here, the original idea was to have 2 levels of gameplay, but I decided to use water, like a death pit, in the area in the middle of it. I looked up the exact like SM underscore plane underscore 500 mesh that DM Cannon used for its water, and I found a shell water material that applied to it. With the thinking being just rather than creating additional gameplay down there, I was working on a time limit. I had about 30 minutes to finish this map before I was getting dinner with a friend. So I just put the gameplay down there just to be a death pit. And I was intending on people to just die immediately, but it changed a little bit as I was making the map. Here I am just adding a light to the scene, kind of playing around with a little pretty colors, maybe a little more than necessary at this point before I even started playing it with bots. So the first thing that I did once I thought the gameplay was about ready, like just to play, was I just loaded in with some bots, and I kind of went off on them because the map essentially at that time was 4 rocket launchers in 4 corners of the map with a shotgun in the middle of it, just an absolute total meat grinder. But what I realized was that people were running on the water. I had accidentally put collision on the water, but I actually kind of liked the gameplay how it was set up that way. So what I did is I just applied the previous floor texture to the water, moved it down a little bit and put some health down there and some jump pads so people could get out.